network that wants to put up with what we're doing. It wasn't easy the first time, so we're still crossing our fingers, but I don't know anything more than you guys do.
Right.
Yeah.
You've been in so many things now, and basically everything. I mean, it's not that many people who've done like Star Wars, Marvel, but you're kind of dead in everything.
Not in Hannibal.
Not in Hannibal, no.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't see the last episode.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Spoiler alarm.
Is that, yeah, maybe we should have said that.
Yeah.
Is that kind of sad, not being able to like come back to those things, or is it you've done it, so now you're done with it, moving on to other things? Is it?
Well, it's a little that. I mean, obviously, I mean, I know that Daniel Craig is really fond of playing Bond, but he's also getting nervous after 10 years being Bond forever. Whereas the rest of us, we can go and visit that fantastic environment and we can leave it again, right? But I mean, some of these universes, you never know. I mean, in the Marvel universe, everything is possible, right? So if they find his evil twin brother, I'll be in for it.
I also we need to talk about, because you have a brother who's also an actor.
Yeah.
And you've both done Star Wars.
Yeah.
Did you talk about that? Did he give you tips because he did it first? Is that right? Yeah.
I had no idea he was in Star Wars before I got it. Because he's doing a lot of that voice work, so I had no idea he was doing that one. But then I realized that there's not a lot to talk about in two different universes, even though it's the same family. No, it's fun. I mean, two Danish guys from Nørrebro who became actors, which was not written in the stars, and then all of a sudden we're both in the Star Wars universe. That is completely absurd. Yeah.
So not in the family dinners, he's like, yeah, but I did it first, so.
Well, my dad was always walking around with a, in a Star Trooper helmet back home. We grew up with it.
And so he was a fan?
No, he was not.
He was not, alright. So proud that both of you have done Star Wars. I'm guessing, because there's a lot of people here, I don't want to steal anyone's questions. There is a lot of questions. Right. So I think we're going to start with those.
Yeah.
Everybody cool with that? So the mic is over there. Form a line.
And from yesterday, we experienced that a little closer to the mic so we can hear it. Because
it's really hard to hear up here on stage. So
this is much better.
Speak loud. And... Oh, there's no questions. Right. Okay.
See that?
Wait. Oh yeah. I figured. They're sweet. We're a little slow at the start.
You're good with lines.
Yeah, a bit, yeah. Is it the same in Denmark? Or are they like
not as good as you. I remember when I was at the airport, I saw there's a line around the luggage belt.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody was standing on the right side of the line. It's like, why is that? Nobody would be standing there in Denmark. We're very good with authorities.
Yeah, we are, yeah. So this was in Denmark, everybody was just shouting their questions.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so
good morning, Stockholm. Let's shoot it.
Don't be afraid to touch it if it's in the wrong way. The mic.
The mic.
You can.
Hi.
So this is a mandatory. This is a mandatory question.
Yeah.
Is this okay. Right. I'm Tom.
There.
Yeah. So this is a mandatory question. If you got to write season 4 of Hannibal, what would you do?
If I got to write season 4 of Hannibal?
Yes.
That's a good question. I will give him a really cool car chase. I think we need that. No, I think definitely have some much more fun with Will, and probably with Bedelia as well. And if I could bring back Abigail, I would do that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
I have a question about the hunt. Considering that it's a very complex situation in the movie, and it actually happens for real sometimes, what was some of the aspects you thought about to bring that situation into life in the movie?
How did we come up with the story exactly?
Yeah, and what did
the story? We're talking about the hunt. The story is based on some real cases in Norway. Actually, they're not unique. They happen here. They happen in Denmark as well. Nobody's questioning that there is molesting of children happening in the world and also in those environments. But the other thing is also happening. Once you get accused of something with absolutely no base in reality, your life will just go this way. Because it's about children, it's not about robbing a bank. So it was based on some interviews where a family man was completely crushed by the police and there was absolutely no proof anything was happening. And the whole little small society completely imploded on him. So it was based on some of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, I just want to ask you, you have been playing with a lot of great actors too, and how
Are you Danish?
Yeah, I'm Danish. Yeah. But have you ever been nervous to play with some actors? Have you played with someone you thought before you start, oh my god, I'm going to play with I have to work with these people?
If I was like starstruck by working with someone, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen even with friends you've known for a long time that you never worked with that you think they're so good. But it is a little strange in the acting community. We're not so starstruck with each other because we know what we're doing, we know what it is. But I can get starstruck if I met Messi. You know, if I saw Messi here, I would probably be drooling and not knowing what to say. For a lot of male actors, at least, we tend to be starstruck by athletes. And for me, it's Messi, Usain Bolt, if Muhammad Ali was still around. But I'm sure I would be a little shaky if I met Bruce Lee as well.
Thank you.
Hi. We've seen you done some really great roles in future film and TV series. I have a question if you ever consider yourself as a voiceover actor for younger children in animation film in the future?
A voice actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done some. I've done some remakes of the Danish versions of some of the of Cars, Monsters Inc. I've done a few things. It's never been top of my list, and apparently not on their list either. So, but I've done a few things. It's not something that I dream about because I mean I prefer acting. But if it's a very interesting project, some of these cartoons and animated films are so fantastic, and it's fun to do. But my main job is acting myself.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi. This is not a mandatory question. What would Hannibal think about Fannibals?
Hannibal? What do you think about Hannibal?
Yeah.
Well, there is a certain vanity in the character. I think he would be rather pleased. On the other hand, that also means that he cannot be incognito anymore, and he does thrive in that world of being not famous at all. But he has a small little God complex. He likes to compete with God, and I think that the Fannibals will help him, be up there, I guess.
Hello, I have a question not about a movie or a TV show. This is a question about color. Is light light or is light bright?
Life?
Light, is light bright in color, is light light in color?
I mean light as in light.
The question is whether light is bright in color or
White.
white in color. Yeah.
Is this a trick question?
It's a trick question.
No, there is an actual answer to it. Do you know it?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question, so...
I can explain. Light is always bright in color, even if you can turn down the opacity, but it's not light in color.
Okay, so it's a rhetorical question. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say, I would go for bright then.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
Well, hello. I have a question about the game Death Stranding. And,
Death Stranding. Yep.
yeah. Do you actually know what it is about, or you just want to?
I think the better question is, do Kojima know what it's about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
I am absolutely convinced that Kojima knows what this is about.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt. And he's so excited every time he tries to explain it to me. Keep in mind, we have an interpreter between us every time. And after half an hour, I can see how excited he is. And he only explained this much of it, and I'm completely blank. I'm like, what? I have a hunch what it is. His world is always, you have to work with other people to solve this, and he's very interactive. Everything he says sounds brilliantly, but not being a gamer myself, it is a completely different universe. I can just stand there with my open mouth and go, it sounds great, let's do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Christine. I'm also from Copenhagen, but let's do it in English. You have a movie coming up about Van Gogh at Eternity's Gate, where the trailer premiered last week, and it looks amazing.
Right.
With Willem Dafoe and Oscar Isaac. And I read somewhere that you filmed it on location, which is also where I grew up, and I wanted to know how it felt to film a movie about the painter Van Gogh in the actual physical location where he was at the time.
Yeah, I'm visiting. This is a film about Van Gogh. It's called At Eternity's Gate. Willem Dafoe is playing it, and Julian Smart will direct it. I'm a visitor in the film. I have one scene. It's a great scene. I mean, it's
the best scene, yeah.
Well, that came out wrong. But, no, when I read it, I just loved that scene. I thought it was a brilliant written scene. And vitally important, obviously, to the story. So I was there for one day. But if you ask Willem, I'm sure he would say what I would have said, because I have worked in real locations. It's a fantastic feeling. It's a free gift. You don't have to imagine that part. We have to imagine everything as actors, but all of a sudden they give us something for free, and we can just lean into it, and you can actually feel the wind of history right in the same rooms, right? So it was amazing to be able to shoot in that exact location where Van Gogh spent quite a bit of his life.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi. I just wanted to tell you that you're such an inspiration and such an incredible person. And I wanted to ask you if you have any tip on actually being an actor that people don't think about. What's something important?
A tip? A tip of being an actor? No, not really. I mean, I could easily find one if I was chit-chatting about it. The thing about actors are constantly searching for ways of solving things. They will constantly be insecure. They will constantly think, oh, I don't have the tools. I don't know exactly how to do that. That is a constant search. Even an old guy like Max von Sydow will say, I don't know how to attack this one. It's always a search. But I think that we should just relax and realize that that's the case. And just come to terms with that we don't have the answers every time we start out. We'll be looking for them. So that would be a trick. Relax. You will find it eventually.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My question is, if you could have a dinner with 3 people, either dead or alive,
yeah.
Who would it be?
God.
Where would you have the dinner? And do you have one question that you definitely would want to ask them?
Do you think I can come up with a good answer for that like that?
Yes.
So now I have to choose 3 dead people or alive people. And I have to ask my question I haven't even posed in my head yet. All right. Okay, let me just... I'll do dead people, because obviously that I'm not going to have that dinner. Hopefully. Maybe I hope.
You're not going to get a phone call, but I'm waiting for that invitation.
So I've always been a big fan of Bruce Lee. And Buster Keaton is one of my big heroes as well. Kind of for the same reasons. They had a certain way of being on the screen. They could do very, very small things and the sky would open. And then I would throw in Genghis Khan. I don't know why. I'm just going to ask him, like, serious? I mean, because there's some myth about it, but basically it was just like every other conqueror, like another Hitler. I mean, we just find him romantic somehow. But I'm just like, I would like to ask him if he believed that all those women that he had kids with, they loved him. That would be interesting to hear what his answer would be to that.
Thank you very much.
Here you go.
Hi. I just want to ask you if you're going to be in the MCU anymore.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
If I will be in the Marvel again?
Yes.
I think you have to ask somebody else. Because that's not my choice. I don't call them and say, hey, I'm ready. Let's make a film. That's not how it works. They kind of call you if they want you to come back, right? So obviously, does the character of Caecilius survive? He does in a shape. So if they need some extraordinary powers from my character, I'm ready. But apparently, I don't look so good in the shape I am when the film ends, right? So that's going to be an awkward film. But yeah, I'm ready.
All right, thank you.
If the question did come, you would definitely consider it.
I think the Marvel universe is absolutely groundbreaking what they've done, not only the last few years, but from the very start. I think they've changed so much in movie history, and I think they're doing a fantastic job. So who would I be to say no?
Hi. So I was wondering, how was it to play a character like Hannibal Lecter? Like, did it? I don't know. I'm so nervous.
Did it impact me?
Yeah,
did it
exactly.
have an impact?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would say normally the characters should not have an impact on you. You should have an impact on the characters. I mean, that's a golden rule in my book, anyways. Yeah. And yes, it's a very dark character. He's doing very dark things. But when you look at him, when you actually see him, he's probably one of the happiest characters I've ever played. He's a very happy man. He's making the best out of every second in the day, 24/7. There is no room for boring food, or rude people, or ugly clothes, or pop music. It has to be extremely well-funded anything. So in many ways, he was just a man going through the world. I didn't carry a depressed man home every day. I carried a man who thought it was a great day at the office. You know? So in that way, I had a great time with him. I would not recommend anybody to be inspired by him, but he was pretty fun to be in his shoes for a while.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Sarah. And I was just wondering, before I ask my question, is it okay if I ask it in Swedish, or?
Yeah, you can go ahead in Swedish.
Yeah.
As long as it's in the mic.
Jag heter Sara. Jag vet att du har bott i Sverige förut och jobbat som utbildad dansare.
Ja, jag var i Göteborg.
Ja, i Göteborg. Jag hade en radiointervju med dig på MI när jag var typ 10. Och då var det därför. Så jag undrar, vad är skillnaden mellan att bo i Sverige och vad saknar du mest med Köpenhamn?
Och jag tycker om att bo i Sverige.
Ja,
alltså jag var i Sverige, jag hade ingen pengar när jag var i Sverige. Jag var på Balettakademin där i Mölndal, om ni känner igen det. Jag hade ingen pengar, jag bara dansade på Balettakademin, så käkade spaghetti varenda dag. Så det är liksom, men jag känner ju Sverige från andra håll också. Så jag älskar Sverige, det är ju min storebror, det är ju min granne. Vi har mycket gemensamt och vi har också mycket som inte är gemensamt. Men ja, jag älskar Sverige. Det är ett fantastiskt land, fantastiska människor.
Hi, I was just wondering if you have like any tips for someone who wants to become an actor, like in maybe the MCU in the future, or like these big movies, especially because like if you come from a smaller country like you and me.
Yeah, excuse me. I think the trick is, there's so many ways to do it. You will find Swedish actors, young actors now coming out. They're not interested in working in Sweden. They just want to go straight to Hollywood, right? That's the way to do it. You can give it a shot, but you will be competing with a million other people who probably speaks American a little better than you do. So I would always recommend to stay home, do some work, do theater, and if you're lucky enough to get into a movie or a TV show, go for it. Make a little name for yourself, and then you have something you can show, as opposed to go over there, because that is a crazy jungle. Just don't think about the whole world. Make the small part of your world the entire world.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm
I'm just wondering, out of like all characters you played, what has been the most stupid move or decision one of them has been?
A stupid move, something I regret.
That you like cringe just by watching.
Something I regret.
But is it you or as a character?
Like your characters.
Okay.
Any character you played.
Yeah, I mean,
like, stupid.
No, I mean, I don't have anything professionally that I regret. I've done some stuff that didn't turn out that well. I don't regret it. That was just another stepping stone, something I learned from. That's the way it is. But there's one of my favorite characters. He's called Svend. He's from the Green Butchers. And he's probably the most annoying person I've ever played. And probably the most annoying person I've ever seen on screen. He's super annoying. So he makes me cringe a little when I watch him.
Yeah, just one small question.
Sure.
What do you think of that picture over there?
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a young fellow. Yes, a few years ago, right? So, is it a trick question? You're not pleased with that picture, are you?
What, sorry?
You're not happy with that picture?
I just don't think it looks like you, I don't know.
Promise you, we will change it next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Hi. Have you like ever hated a character that you have played like yourself, or have you always like learned to love that?
Sorry, I can only hear every second word.
Like a character that you played, have you ever like hated it?
I can personally hate what a character does. I can personally disagree with a character's moves. But I haven't had a character I hated playing that I was like, oh. The case is, if that is the case, that's because it's badly written and it's not working and you can't make it work or you can't figure it out. That's when you begin to hate a character simply because you can't crack it. It's not working. But I mean, I played some really annoying characters in my life, and I kind of liked them all. So that's the thing. We get to behave like idiots sometimes, and it's justified just because we're actors.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Mads. Thank you for Hannibal. I really enjoyed that show. How do you get into the mindset and psychology of being a guy like Hannibal?
Yeah, I don't necessarily. It might sound wrong, but I mean, I don't go around thinking how would it feel to kill a lot of people and eat them. But what Hannibal does, that's not what he's doing either. For him, it's on a different level. It's to do with beauty and it's to do with love. And so he finds something that is extremely beauty on the threshold of death, right where life and death meet each other. He finds that exciting. He finds that full of life. I can find other things exciting and full of life, not necessarily what he does. So I try to just swap that around and put myself in a situation where I would enjoy something I would enjoy to do. And so Hannibal, well, he cuts out a liver of his neighbor, and I would just think of something else when I'm doing it. And so that's the only way to approach it, because he's not a normal character anyway. He's not built psychologically up as a normal character with regrets. He's a little lifted. He's a little larger than life. He's kind of the fallen angel, but he's constantly seeing beauty and he's not seeing darkness. And that's what I'm focusing on.
Thank you. I have one more question. What's it like working on Death Stranding?
Death Stranding was fantastic. It is very different from any acting job you will probably meet as an actor, because you're just running around in tights and they're green, and you have and you have a mocap on, and then your fellow actor is looking just as dumb as you. You're like, what is going on here? And then we just have to cross our fingers that it's going to look cool one day. But in this situation, it doesn't feel so cool.
It's like a bachelor party going downhill.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. I was just wondering, since you've been in such many big franchises and played so many iconic roles like a Bond villain and Hannibal, do you have like a bucket list or like franchises where you want to be, etc.?
I think I've done them all, kind of. No, there's a few, right? I have genre films that I'm personally a big fan of. Obviously, I have to say Flying Kung Fu. I got to do a little of that in Doctor Strange. A lot of wire stuff. That was pretty fun. Zombies. I love zombies. You know, I think it's about time that I should visit Walking Dead or something. Maybe just for one day. I can be a zombie. That's fine. I think that zombies are the coolest anyway. So I'll be a zombie. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
But that's a new thing. You could probably do that. I mean, there's all these people hiding behind like stormtrooper masks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which character that you played did you feel like you could relate to the most?
That I could not relate to?
Like you could relate to.
I can't really hear you. I'm sorry.
Like you could relate to. Like to the character.
What character?
Like out of all the characters that you played, I mean.
Can you relate to the most? Is that the
like which one do you relate to the most?
All right.
The most. It's going to be a weird answer for this one as well. It's like everybody's going to think that there's something wrong with him. I can relate to all characters to a degree. Some more, some less. But I try to find something that I recognize in them. And if anyone has seen The Green Butchers, and I will say the character from The Green Butchers, that would probably be my answer. I mean, a lot of the stuff that's coming out of this character we invented together, and it came out of some ideas I had. And it's some of the annoying sides I have that is bombarded into this character, and we just turn up the volume. So unfortunately, it's Svensson here from Green Butchers.
Thank you.
Hej! Trevligt att träffas.
Samma.
Ja. När Galen Erso ritade ut Dödsstjärnan ritade han ut ett hemligt rum som man kunde ha smörbröd i.
Galen Erso?
Ja.
Om han har... Det jobbar för mig.
Ja, som man kunde ha smörbröd i.
Om han ska...
Ett rum med smörbröd i?
Ja.
Vad är frågan? Har han ett rum med smörbröd?
Har du ett rum med smörbröd i? Nej.
Ja, i Dödsstjärnan finns det ett rum med smörbröd.
Dödsstjärnan?
Ja, Dödsstjärnan.
Jag vet vad det är.
So the question is obviously, in the Death Star, did Galen also make a secret room for open sandwiches?
Okay.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. He did. But the thing is, that is the sequel. This is what everybody's looking for. And if I told you where that is, they would have to kill me. So you have to pay and go and watch that film.
Jag längtar till den.
You want?
Hello, I'm JV from South Korea. Yesterday I asked about Arctic, but today, as a Hannibal, I'd like to ask about Hannibal. Hannibal canceled the Overtree and sadly 3 years ago. However, fandom is still active and shouting for fourth season. And the people who have not seen Hannibal before are watching now. Especially in South Korea, Netflix just released the fourth season of Hannibal last month. And since then, many people keep talking about Hannibal. And my question is, what elements of Hannibal do you think make this possible?
Why did Hannibal become a long-term interest?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if I could answer that question, obviously I would be a billionaire. This is what all producers are asking themselves. How can we get everyone to see this? That everybody wants that. Nobody has, they sometimes think they have it, and then they just copy the same film 28 times, and then they lost it. And we also have to remind ourselves that it's not everybody who watches Hannibal. It's some people. It's a niche thing. I mean, it's not for everyone but the ones who like it love it. I think it's the aesthetics. It's very aesthetic. I think it's very, very clever written. Brian Fuller is an absolute genius when it comes to writing dialogue and situations. And then it's the surprising madness that we have no idea where these characters are going. I think that combination is the reason why I love it and why people like you love it. It is very radical and it's very out there. I think that is the secret.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Hello. Hi, Matt. My friend would kill me if I didn't say that he thinks you're the most complex portrayal of Hannibal ever. It's the best villain ever, in his opinion. But my question is about Star Wars and Marvel, basically. And when you do like big franchises with a lot of lore to them, and like movies that have been out a long time, have you watched them yourself before, or do you get invested to the lore while you're doing a role and stay interested after you've done it?
So, did I go and watch the Star Wars films? Is that your question? I'm really sorry, because the acoustic is so bad.
Right? Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what people are saying, I'm guessing.
Did you watch the Star Wars movies before you did the Galen? And are you interested in Star Wars?
Yeah, that both with Bond, the James Bond film, and with the Star Wars film, I had to lie and say I've seen it all. And the honest truth is, I hadn't seen any of it. I did catch that, that was a train in 77, 78, that was called the Star Wars World. And as I think I've mentioned, I was occupied running around looking like Bruce Lee and watching those kind of action films. I didn't understand that world of robots and stars. My brother caught on to, and then when I got the job, I went back and I started seeing them, and I was really blown away with how well they're made and how fantastic they pulled it off in 77. Not only with the CGI, but the whole universe was just amazing. So, but honestly, I lied my ass off when I got the job because I hadn't seen it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the real tip is, if you want to become an actor, lie. Is that right?
Well, that we are professional liars. People pay us to lie.
Hello. I was just wondering if you could share any of the details of the little bit of story you know about Death Stranding.
If I can share a little information on Death Stranding?
Yes.
I can. So, what I'm about to say now, unfortunately I have to kill you all after I say it. The thing is, I'm not allowed to say anything. It is a very, very secret project. I'm allowed to say I'm in it. I'm allowed to talk about the process. I'm not allowed to share any single information about what's happening. This is the way he works. He keeps it very, very tight. And I did say something a year ago, just randomly to a journalist. I thought it was not an information, but everything went, oh my God, you can't say that now, man. I was like, so it's very secret. What I can tell you is that it's going to be something you have never seen before. That's for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Ilhana from Bosnia and Herzegovina. First of all, congratulations on yet another award, the upcoming award that will be presented to you at the Reykjavik Film Festival, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My question is about theater, actually. If you were to do theater plays in the future, which play would you like to be in? Which character speaks to you the most? And whether the play would be Shakespearean or something more modern?
Yeah, I haven't done theater for a long time now. I loved theater, but I was more in love with film. For many reasons. If you do a theater play, it's very magical to be on the stage and it works, and you can feel the audience, this is working. On the other hand, if the play sucks and nobody likes it, you have to do it 100 times in a row. You know? And it's very, very difficult to fix it, you know. So, but it is magical. On the other hand, the way, the expression, what you can do, minimalizing things on film, I might be a little more in love with that. But if I had to go back to theater, which I might do one day, I don't have a small Hamlet, Shakespearean thing in me. A lot of things has been done before. I'm a big fan of things that are newly written, and those characters would be my next dream character. I have a feeling.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi there. My mom says hi, by the way.
Your mom?
My mother says, yeah.
Say hi. What's your mother's name?
Sorry?
What's your mom's name?
Maria.
Maria. Say hi.
Yeah, as a big Hannibal fan and a member of the Fannibals, I have a question that actually we've been thinking about for quite a time, especially about the fanfics and fan arts that's been going around and the porn fics. And we have seen that Brian Fuller has been really active about it and really hyping up the fandom, and we've been wondering about what you think about it. Are you up against it if it would actually come up in the series, that the relationship would actually step forward?
In the actual show?
In the actual show, yeah.
If they develop a more of a man crush?
Yeah.
I think it's a fine line, right? Definitely what Brian is trying to do is that in Hannibal's world, everything is a little blurry. He just finds people that he admires, and that as much as he can love, he loves. He doesn't care whether they're at one gender or the other gender. So it's not a physical thing, it's a fascination thing, right? He puts everything on a pedestal. So I think it should stay on that level, and then you guys with the fan art, you can go a little further, which I've seen you've done. It is interesting because the first time I came across anything like that was when I did the Bond film. All of a sudden, without no time, there was a young kid who had made his own trailer, his own little video trailer of me standing behind a curtain, looking down, and General Craig coming out of the water, almost naked, and the song was "It's in His Eyes," you know, and it was the gayest fucking crazy thing I've ever seen. And I was like, but we didn't play the game. Well, there we go. And so I realized there's a whole culture out there that will do that, and it's funny and it's wonderful to watch, and it's quite graphic, some of the stuff you guys do. But
really detailed, really detailed.
Very detailed.
What do you think about it, about all of these fics that we do?
But what I think about the fan art?
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's a dedication that's absolutely wonderful. I mean, obviously, I have to go, whoa, is that me and you? Fair enough. I have to live with that. But as long as it's on paper, I can live with it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did you see stuff on the internet and then you immediately came home and like, kids, we need to talk about some things now?
No, I mean,
we have internet time now.
No, it's not even internet. It's like some people come up and show it to me that they've done. It's like, whoa, there are children here. And they're very skilled people, very talented, and they have taken whatever they experience from our show, they've taken it to the next level, and I think that is absolutely wonderful. As long as my wife don't see it.
Well, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on set?
The most embarrassing?
Embarrassing, yes.
Oh, many things can be embarrassing. I mean, just forgetting your lines and there's 2,000 soldiers on a horse waiting for it. It's quite embarrassing. Well, I remember, I mean, the very first thing I did in Hollywood was a film called King Arthur, where I played a knight called Tristan. And we spent 6 months there. And after 3 months, there was a man walking around with a lot of cameras around him. And we were all the actors just sitting, hanging around. We was in the forest somewhere. And he felt lonely. He felt as if nobody wanted to talk to him. And I got up and introduced myself. I was pretty sure he was the new still photographer, who was doing still photos. And I said, hi, I'm Matt. And he says, hi, I'm Jeremy. Okay, cool. So you're the new still photographer? No, we have met before. I was at the casting, he said, the audition. And I was, you were the camera guy. And then he looked at me and he turned around and walked away without saying goodbye and said, what did I say? So I sit down and one of the other actors said, yes, this is not good. This is Jerry Bruckheimer, the biggest producer. and the thing is, the problem was, I was not doing it to be rude, I was actually doing it to be really nice and polite. I couldn't remember his face. But it didn't stop there. A month later, there was a man with the cameras walking around. And I went up to him and introduced myself. And that was Jerry Bruckheimer, I forgot to tell you. So that was a good
Thank you.
How do you still get jobs after that?
Yeah, not from him. No, he was very sweet about it.
Hi, my name is Jacob, and I wonder, how was it to play in Doctor Strange?
How was it to play in Doctor Strange? Yeah. It was amazing in the sense that I am a big graphic novel fan myself, comic book, been reading it since I was a kid. And as I said before, I think they've done a fantastic job of bringing that very difficult world up on the big screen. Doctor Strange is a little different in the sense that it is a little psychedelic. It's from the late 60s, early 70s, where there was a lot of acid involved, I guess.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. And I think that they captured that and they put that up on the big screen. It was surreal, some of the stuff they were doing in the film. I was super proud of being there, and as I said before, I finally got the chance to do a lot of flying kung fu work. I mean, running around upside down, running on the ceiling, doing flips, kicks, some kind of nunchucks as well. I loved every second of it. I thought it was a great film to be in.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
So sorry, time flies when you're having fun. This has to be the last question. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh my God.
So make it count now. No pressure. No.
Hej Mads. Stor fan.
Dansker.
That's Danish.
Was
that Danish? Okay.
That was Danish.
Exactly.
Sorry.
As a Disney character, I just want to know, who is your favorite Disney character?
Of all Disney characters?
Of all Disney characters.
Oh. That's brutal. I love Disney. I think one of my favorite Disney films is The Jungle Book. I think it's absolutely amazing. Then we have the dwarves. Some of the dwarves are great fucking characters, you know. It might be, you know, the guy who plays the drums in the Snow White films, the grumpy guy. I think he's fantastically animated, and this is in the 30s, you know. It's in the 30s. It's so well captured. I think it might be him. Is he called Grumpy? We'll call him Grumpy. Grumpy is my favorite character.
It's called Tokyo in Swedish. I don't know what's.
And then Ferdinand, of course. Ferdinand.
Yeah. He's a bit boring, isn't he?
No.
Yes, it's there.
Vad fel på dig?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry, we have to end on that bombshell.
Thank you so much.
So, and if you want